Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. So we finally did it. We finally got Leonard Williams under contract. Now, listen, we tagged him, 4 or 5 days ago? And we ended up signing him. So that's actually pretty quick. But it felt like an eternity. Because Leonard Williams at one point was asking for 25. If the reports are real, I don't know exactly if that's real. But we weren't going to pay that dude 25 mil. I was ready to pay him 2021 months ago. I was ready to do that just because I thought that's what the market did. And then once we saw all of these guys signing for 16, 13, 14, and I think he's better than most of those guys. And, it's just how it goes. His position is different. So, of course, the stats are going to be different as far as some of them having, 1 or 2 more sacks than him. I think he's a better player than most of those guys. But is he 10 million better? And that was really the debate. But it's also about what he's worth specifically to the Giants. So the Giants decided to give him a 3-year, $63 million deal. And he's going to be making an average of 21 per year, which is exactly where I thought he should come in at. Over the last couple of weeks, that's what I thought we would end up paying him, which, is going to be big. But as the cap grows, this contract is going to kind of shrink. Now, do I think if we were rescinded the tag a little bit earlier, we probably could have gotten him for cheaper, but he also might have just left and just said, I'm going to another team and just taking less money. But this money, I think 45 million of it is guaranteed. And then his cap hit for this year will be $11 million. So we saved $8 million off of the cap. And listen, we had to get the cap number down. We did it. I didn't care I was just getting to the point. I didn't really care what exactly we did. It was more about make a decision and stand on it. If he wants you to pay him over 20 mil and that's something that you're okay with, pay it. If you don't want to pay him that much and he's not budging, then don't pay him that and rescind the tag. So they ended up coming to an agreement. They came to that agreement at that $21 million a year deal. And I'll say that I'm relieved. I'm finally relieved that this is over. The contract is done. We don't have to talk about this anymore. We don't have to hear, we're still going to hear people on Twitter saying that the trade was good or bad. I don't really care at this point. He's a good player. He's a Giant, and he's going to be a Giant for the next 3 years. Now, I'm curious as to why the Giants don't give 4-year deals. I would rather brought him back on a 4-year deal because that locks in this $21 million over the next 4 years, which I think is going to be a steal in the next 3 or 4 years when pass rushers of all kind are going to be getting paid $30+ million a year. But he's going to be here for the next 3 years. It's over. We can do other things with our money, and cool. Some other things we did. We brought in Devonta Booker. He's a guy who's going to be the second running back. Now, I thought we could just sign someone. Just draft someone in this year's draft in the 4th or 5th round to just be that backup, low-cost option, low risk. Running backs are pretty easy to find, and I think we could find somebody of Devonta Booker's level in the draft. But I think he's a good player. He can do it all. He can pass block. He can catch. He can run. He's a decisive runner. A stat I got from Talking Giants, to check their channel out, he spent the least time behind the line of scrimmage last year, so that's always good to see. I think Wayne Gallman spent like the 3rd least, so this guy Devonta Booker was the most decisive as far as getting upfield, and that's going to be a perfect complement to Saquon. He can also, as I said, catch and block, so you don't ever have to really take him off the field, and he's never going to make you give up what you're doing. You're not going to be able to tell what you're doing by him being on the field. So that's a solid signing. A lot of people didn't like that it was $3 million a year, but it is what it is. $3 million isn't that much. We can always, make one move and be right back, pretty much back in the same kind of cap space that we would be if we decided to release him. The second move that we made, the move we made literally about 5 minutes or less after the Leonard Williams deal got done. John Ross out of Cincinnati. And before I start getting the comments and saying we shouldn't have signed John Ross for $2 million, mind you, with I think $1 million guaranteed or something. So it's no risk at all. So before I start getting those, I was also seeing people months ago saying we should consider trading for him. And I actually made a video saying we should consider trading for him because it's a low risk, high reward kind of deal. We're paying him $2 million. And like I said, $1 million is guaranteed. So this guy could be someone who even gets cut. So he's probably going to be competing with Dante Pettis and just trying to get into that rotation. Maybe we'll use him in the return game. But he's a 4.22 guy. He's the fastest guy in the combine's history. And I think he can turn into a good player. He's a good route runner. He's very fast. The only issue with John Ross is that he is someone who's always hurt. He's always hurt. And, you know, when you're running that fast, you're running yourself out of your own legs. So hopefully he can stay healthy for the Giants. If he can stay healthy, he's going to be a perfect kind of complement. Because anytime you have somebody that fast, they're always a decoy. They're always a decoy to get behind the defense. And imagine if we sign Jalen Waddle. If we sign Jalen Waddle out of this draft, and I say sign because we'll eventually have to sign him, but if we draft Jalen Waddle at 11 and we have John Ross and then Darius Slayton out there, Darius Slayton is a 4.3 guy and he's a slow turtle compared to these other two. So if you have Ross and Waddle out there, you can do a lot of things to defenses, and they're going to really have to start playing back, which is going to open up things for Saquon. Anytime John Ross is on the field, he's a threat to get behind the defense just because of speed. And if you add a Jalen Waddle to that, that would just be amazing. That would be incredible to watch. I'd be excited about that. But it's all about if he can stay healthy. And I think that he will. I'm hoping that he will stay healthy for us because that will be a huge steal because he could have a complete resurgence of his career on basically making no money. Lastly, some guys that I want us to target. I don't know what's happening right now as I'm recording this, so I'm sure there'll be some comments telling me we signed this person or they got signed somewhere else. But listen, the guys that I want to target right now, the only guy that's really on my list is Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick, the guy who terrorized Daniel Jones last year in Daniel Jones' game where he was injured, he couldn't move much. Hassan Reddick had 12 sacks last year. Now he has a perfect chance to come to the Giants on maybe a 1-year prove-it deal or maybe a 3-year deal and really do some damage for us. I think that he could really be an explosive pass rusher. And now that we're bringing Leo back, he's going to be playing beside Leo or, you know, playing across from him or playing on the same line as him or even beside a guy like Dexter Lawrence. It's going to basically free up a lot of space for him and give him a lot of one-on-ones. Or if they decide to double him, then Leo will be single. So that's someone I really want to target. That's my number one free agency target right now. Besides Kenny Golladay, of course, if we end up signing him. But Hassan Reddick, please go get him. Go get him today. And then the other guy I want to look at is Troy Hill, the corner from the Rams. He's a guy that can play outside. He can play the slot. And I think we could definitely use him as a depth signing. And if not, he could probably be our second corner. So those are two guys I'm looking at. Nothing huge. It seems like the Giants feel comfortable about what they have on the offensive line. So I'm not going to really go into that. But you guys let me know what you think. We finally got Leonard Williams under contract, and we signed the fastest guy in the league on paper in John Ross. So if you made it this deep into the video, I'm calling you a D6 squad member. If you're a D6 squad member, you got to hit that subscribe button. You got to turn on that notification bell. And listen, I make all kinds of content for NFL teams. So if you're not a Giants fan, don't worry. I'll cover your team. If I'm not covering your team, let me know. And have a good one.